MJCREW, it's your girl Margina Jose, and I'm back with another video, y'all. This video, I felt like it was a good time to kind of, I felt like this video, which whatever I name it, because I don't know what I'm about to really say in this video, but pretty much I'm trying to sum up a life update, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but some of my subscribers have contacted me and left comments asking me, am I still doing YouTube? Am I still doing try-on hauls? Like, where have I been? I just felt like I should do my makeup and do an update, just so you guys won't be sitting here just hearing me like vent. Oh, FYI, if you do not like venting videos, or if you do not like videos that kind of you're going to be hearing pretty much about my problems, I would advise you to just get off. So I'm turning 27, and I actually, 27 has been a very challenging age, okay? I have been going through so much, you guys. If you only really knew, like, I've been going through so much. So right now it's August 2019, right? I recorded this video. I'm gonna tell you, like, I recorded this video, like, this is my third attempt making a life update, because I really didn't want to talk about the situation, but I'm so tired of pretending like I'm not going through anything. And honestly, I feel like at this point, everybody's going through something in life, you know what I mean? And it doesn't make sense to pretend that I'm one of the exceptions, that I'm not going through anything. I kind of have that, like, traditional, and it's not like I don't want to share my life, I just have that traditional mentality where it's like, you don't tell people your business, you know what I mean? Like, don't tell nobody your business, girl. Like, you know, people could use that against you. But I feel like we're in a different era where it's like, listen, my business, if I want to tell you my business, it's my business to tell. You know what I mean? Like, this is not gonna, like, whoever watches this is gonna watch it, and whatever judgment they want to make, they're gonna make it, you know what I mean? If it's positive or negative. But I'm not even looking at it as a negative, I'm gonna look at it as a positive, because I'm hoping whoever watches this video can understand that they're not the only ones who are going through anything, and hopefully they can look at it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna get through it too, because it's not easy for anyone, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's going through things. So again, I'm really traditional, but I'm going to try to break myself out of it. I think that's kind of why I've stopped doing YouTube, because I felt like I was putting on like a little facade where I was just like doing all these try-on hauls, acting like everything was okay, starting off the video telling you I'm going through something, but then just go straight into a try-on haul. I was like, forget that. Like, I want to tell y'all what it is. Like, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? I'm legit struggling. I'm not like, you know, I'm not like broke down, like, to the point like I'm, you know, I know things could be worse, but I'm not in a place where I ideally thought I would be, you know what I mean? And I'm recovering from losing my job. So I had lost my job already, now going on a year. So I lost my job, and I kind of stopped calling it a job because it was a career. So I lost my career in 2019 of last year, legit at, like, I lost my job August, I'm going to say 14th, and I lost my job. So completely jobless. How I lost my job was super embarrassing as well. I actually went to work that day, and they were pretty much like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean what I'm doing here? I work here. And they're like, no, you don't. We have your replacement in your classroom. So I literally found out the day I lost my job at my job. And that, y'all, whew, I swear that was like a version of Baby Boy, okay? When I tell you the cry that I made when I found out I lost my job, I was like, what do you mean? I remember just running out of the auditorium because I was a teacher, you guys. So I was a teacher and I lost my job, and they already had a new teacher in the classroom that I was currently teaching at, you know, if that makes sense. So of course there's more to the story, but I'm not going to go into that. If you guys want me to, leave a comment down below. I don't really care anymore. I feel like I feel like this situation is going to help someone, and that's what I'm here for, is to help myself and help someone all at the same damn time. So that's what happened. I lost my job at work. And so going back, it was a career, it was challenging, and I lost my job nothing for like anything insubordinate, anything like, you know, my protocol. I lost my job because of my certification. So if you're trying to become a teacher, you have to get certified in the state that you're working in, and if you're not fully certified, they put you on a temporary certification. Now, I knew obviously that, you know, there was a chance that I was going to lose my job. However, I communicated thoroughly with administration at the moment that, you know, am I going to have this job? I pretty much was like constantly like going to the school and just talking to whoever I was talking to, asking them, am I going to be able to have my job and stuff like that. And they were telling me pretty much that my job was not in jeopardy. I might have to, like, you know, go down a job title as a sub, but I would still technically have a job as a teacher. That was pretty much what I was coming to. So my pay would go down, but my job title still would be kind of there, if that makes sense. Like, I would still have the same job duty. That was under the impression I was in. So that's not what happened, obviously. They said it went over their heads and it was just a district thing. So that was devastating. Literally the next day I packed up my classroom while the new teacher that was in my classroom was watching. So she's literally at the desk and I'm literally like packing up my stuff. Like, all I needed, y'all, was a baby on my hip, because I felt like it was eviction day, and honey, I completely was I needed to find a home. So that was that. So moving fast forward, so this is August of last year. You guys, that moment in my life, it brought so much underlying, I want to say is that word, underlying, like, it was so much emotions. It was so much emotions that I was going through, you guys, that, y'all, I went through so much personal things that I never thought I would ever be able to go through, if that makes sense, you guys. So yeah, so where was I? When I had lost my job and I was pretty much at home unemployed. So August to September, I was pretty much unemployed, you guys, like really unemployed, and I went through the worst depression. Like, I don't know if you all have ever been through, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like confusing myself. I don't know if you guys have ever been through like depression, or had like a depression stage, or like a traumatic stage. I don't know what you call it. Depressed moment where I was having a hard time getting out of bed. So, meaning I could not get out of bed, y'all. Like, August, I remember calling like my support team, and I call my support team because there's so many people in my support team, to my cousin, to friends, to freaking everybody. So I call them my support team. I'm just gonna wrap it up and call them that, you know. And I was very sad. it was one of those mornings that when I woke up, I just remember crying. And I cried and I called one of my friends and I just was like, yo, like, I don't think, you know, it's good for me to be by myself right now. And her exact words were, I'm at work right now, but I think I'm going to give you a hotline number. And I remember being like, what? Like, I don't want no hotline. I don't want to, like, I was just so frustrated. I didn't want to deal with no hotline. I didn't want to deal with anything like that. So she pretty much was like, I'm going to stay on the phone with you, but I want you to, like, try using this 1-800 hotline number. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting kind of choked up because I've come such a long way. So so I called the hotline number, and the way the hotline number was set up, it wasn't like a phone number like you have to talk to somebody. They give you the choice, either you want to talk or do you want to text. And I chose to text because I didn't really want to like converse at the moment. I just wanted to like vent. And pretty much this hotline number, they allow you to text them and you're pretty much explaining what's going on, what led you to texting them, and how they can help you out. You know what I mean? Pretty much told them, you know, they talked to me through the whole situation. And honestly, I always kind of say it to her, but I always be like, yo, like, you saved my life, because I just felt like I was at a point where I couldn't do it, you know what I mean? And I don't think I would have harmed myself. I don't think I was in that type of place to harm myself, but I definitely was not in a place that it was good for me to be by myself, if that makes sense. So I just felt like being by myself was just not the smartest thing. And so the hotline number, what I like about it is, like, you can talk to them, you know what I mean? You could kind of like, when you're going through a hard time, you can just text them and they'll just pretty much talk you through the situation and give you a different way to look at it. Because sometimes when you're going through things, it's not so much that the problem goes away, but it helps you to kind of like maneuver through the problem at that very moment. You know what I mean? That's why it's a hotline number. So it's there for you 24 hours. If you want me to, actually, I'm not even if you want me to, I'm going to leave it down below. So if you guys ever feel like you are in a very uneasy situation in your life, just hit them up. Trust me, it works. So let me continue. When I went through that, I contacted my brother, and he, oh man, I love him. Like, that's like my best friend. When I contacted my brother, he pretty much talked to me the rest of the day, and I just told him I just talked to somebody online or over the phone and text messaging, and he was just really happy that I just spoke to someone and I didn't just keep it all like bottled in, you know what I mean? So he was really happy that happened. After that, my friend checked up on me. I told her I was feeling a lot better. Fast forward it. So after that situation, I knew I had to go get help. And so at the time, I really didn't have insurance. So I was just kind of like, what am I going to do? Because I don't have insurance to go to a doctor. Like, I don't have money to go to a therapist. And it's not that I didn't have money. I'm going to be honest with you. I really didn't want to spend the money to go to a therapist. But I'm happy that I took the money out and I did. So, oops. Sorry, guys. So that time I started applying for jobs because I really wanted to go to therapy, and I was so used to being on my teacher's, you know, insurance. And y'all, like, despite being a teacher, you may not get paid a lot, but you know what I'm saying, those little insurance packaging and all that good stuff, those benefits come through, honey, because they always trying to give teachers free stuff, because you know it's a struggle. So long story short, I ended up finding a therapist, and her name is Mrs. Joy. And I found a therapist, and I couldn't afford her at the time, so I had to start working first. And so I started working, and my insurance, it really didn't cover going to see her, but I was able to still work, if that makes sense. So I was working, and so I was able to kind of like put money aside to go see her. And that was like a huge difference too, because in seeing her, y'all, like, You ever feel like certain people are just meant to be in your life without you really knowing why? When I met her, I found her on Therapy for Black Girls, and I always tell people about Therapy for Black Girls because you guys, my ladies, my women, my strong, beautiful women, we need therapy. And I talk about it all the time, but I can make a whole nother video on that. But so I found her on Therapy for Black Girls because at the time I was researching like therapy alternatives. So I came over a podcast called Therapy for Black Girls with Dr. Joy Hartford, and so she said, like, you know, to go on her pretty much like dictionary of therapists, and you'll be able to find someone in your local area. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up finding, where's my, oh, man, I'm always looking for something. That's not it. Y'all, I cannot win without losing. Anyway, so I ended up, I'm just gonna use this. So I ended up finding her on her website or whatever. And when I found her on the website, I was like, all right, I'm gonna book with this lady because I liked her website pretty much. I liked what she was saying on it. So I went, and remember when you look for a therapist, they all have their own like specialty of what they kind of like specialize in to help you. Okay, so be mindful of that. So I ended up messaging her, and we talked over the phone for a little bit, and then I booked my appointment and I saw her, and then the rest is history. So in seeing my therapist, Miss Joy, you guys, she's a blessing, and I say it all the time because I really feel like she kind of helped me to go through this whole stage the healthiest way that I could. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know what to do a lot of times, and she was always there, and she still is always there. Like if I need someone to talk to over the phone or just to vent in a text message, she just had my best interest like there, you know. I remember when I got my job, which was at Bloomingdale's, I did not like the job. I liked the job, I liked the company, I just didn't like where I was working. And being where I was, because I worked there, I just didn't feel good, you know what I mean? I felt conflicted because I'm coming from a full career where, you know, being a teacher is very liberating, if that makes sense. So I wasn't used to anyone micromanaging me. I wasn't used to clocking in. I wasn't used to a lot of things, and it literally was like a shock for me because it was years since I've been in retail, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So I'd never been in retail for so long. The last time I was in retail was when I was like in my early 20s, you know what I mean. So I went to therapy, and she helped me. I'm sorry y'all, I suck at doing this, so excuse me, boo-boo. Yeah, so I ended up seeing her. Don't judge me, y'all. So I ended up seeing her, and she walked me through the whole situation. Like she kind of was just like my ear to everything. Like she was there, and of course, again, I have a strong support system, which I'm so blessed for. So that was that. Yeah. Therapy was like, if you want to, I'm gonna add like a little information box so you can see my when I went to the retreat. I went to a women's retreat, and I was so blessed to go to this women's retreat because I was just like really shocked, like how other women were like literally going through some of the stuff I was kind of feeling, but not literally going through it, but just going through like how I was feeling, if that makes sense. Like, so that was that. And one thing I really appreciate is that Miss Joy kind of helped me to start my YouTube, and I didn't know what to do because I had so much time on my hand. Again, when you're in a career, you're so used to working seriously, like, if that makes sense. You're used to working like on the clock. You're used to working like weekends. You're used to just working. Like, you're used to doing like real stuff, you know, like things that are like mandatory meetings, workshops. You're used to like putting in data and like you're just used to doing stuff, making lesson plans. You're just used to working, you know. And I was at this retail job where it didn't require me to use the skill sets that I really had, but really subconsciously it did, if that makes sense. So like, even though I didn't know how to work a register, I did not know how to work a register, y'all. When I worked at Blooming's and started, I did not know how to work a register. Honey, that was so, like, I felt like I was in a time zone. Like, I did not know how to work a register. Like, but I still was determined to figure out how. I just did it. But what I learned, when you work in such a professional setting, even though retail is professional, depending on the level of retail that you are doing, I noticed like I was easy to like transfer over that. So sometimes I was a little too professional, and that kind of made it a little challenging because, you know, customers aren't always the most nicest to you, especially because they feel like, you know, let's just be honest, people who work retail, customers don't really think, oh man, this person is IQ is this and that. They don't think you have like that educational background as much as you probably do, because they feel like, well, you're here, and if you had the educational background, why are you working at this job for this amount? You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I still took my job very seriously. You know, I was very professional. I did my best. So that's all I could do at the moment. And then but I didn't like the job. I didn't mind the job. I actually miss kind of working retail at Bloomingdale's. I just don't miss the environment. The environment was very hostile to me, and I felt like it was I'm just gonna call it what it is. I felt like it was a little, you know, there was like racial things that I was just not like into. Like, I wasn't into someone just kind of like, I felt like belittling me, you know what I mean? I felt like the customers there, the clientele, they just were very backwards. Like, it felt like I felt like I was working in a very hostile environment that I just felt like, you know what, I am not going to take this for too long. Like, some of the people who have worked at these type of environments, you know, they may not have an issue with it because, sorry y'all, they may not have an issue with it because they may not see anything wrong with it. But because I grew up in a very conscious household and, you know, stuff like that, I kind of could tell the difference, if that makes sense. So when I see racial things or I feel like something is going to be affecting me, and you're just kind of, and it's crazy because I had customers say like the most offensive things to me, but I still brushed it off. I still, you know, kept a very professional, you know, personality and all that good stuff. But I was just like, you know, I want something different. I don't want to feel like I have to work here because I have to, you know what I mean? Like, fortunately, I can still take care of myself. I just have to find other work. So she guided me through this whole situation with working there. And, you know, and at the time when I started Bloomingdale's, I did my first YouTube video. So I did my first YouTube video and I just felt empowered. I remember literally being at Bloomingdale's and like being on my phone editing and watching like the reactions to like subscribers, and like my Instagram was like blowing up and people were reposting, and it was just like a really good part in my life. I remember that because I used to be behind this register, but little do you know, like I was really still doing like really positive things in my life. Please count how many times I've said so in this video, because I've said so like 1,010,000 times. But anyways, as I was saying, I found purpose doing YouTube, you guys. It was like, that's all I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to do during my free time. And I started researching about how to get monetized. I just started doing like all sorts of things to kind of get me more engaged into the social media world, because even though I was teaching, I always had the passion to do something outside of teaching. I just wanted to solidify my place as a teacher so I can have the income to kind of like support me and my, you know, career. So I'm addicted to YouTube, so that's kind of like really one of the pushes that got me there, because I was like, y'all, and I say I've been on YouTube to start a YouTube because I was like, yo, I see all of my favorite YouTubers, I see new girls coming out all the time, and I want to create content that is, you know, beneficial to other people. And I've always been one of those people, like, I love to look nice. I feel like looking nice is really, it just helps motivate me. And when I am going through like a depressed moment, or I'm going through a very tough time, I notice like I don't take care of myself, because I just feel like, oh my god, I don't feel good, I don't care how I look, blah blah blah. But when I get into like the groove of like, all right, let me do my hair, let me change my skincare regimen, let me do something different, I feel better like immediately. I'm still going through the struggle, you guys. I'm still taking a lot of my tests to get my certification back, or to get fully certified in the state of Florida. Recently I got upset because of something happened where I didn't pass my test. I studied and I still didn't pass, but one day I will pass, you guys. One day. Just pray for your girl, okay? I need all my prayer warriors to pray for me. So anywho, but I got upset about that recently, but now I'm just kind of like over it. I'm not beating myself up anymore, because I said, you know what, you've come a long way, you've passed a majority of your tests. I remember like when I didn't have pretty much barely anything, I passed, and now I literally have like one test to pass, for real. So yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm still studying for my test. I'm still going to pursue it, because I've invested so much time and money into this profession that I know I'm destined to do it, because I want it. And when you want something, no matter how many times it's kicked you down, you get up and do it, because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You know where you want to be at, and you know what you have to do to be there. So I feel like this situation has taught me to be more strategic. It's taught me that sometimes a shortcut isn't the best, you know, the best direction to go to, you know what I'm saying? Some people may differ about that, you know. Some people may be like, oh, well, you know, why go the long way when you can always go the short way? But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, does my eyelashes look good? How's my eyelash look? Oh, that looks kind of weird. I'm gonna push it back like that. Now how does it look? Anyways, but some people may differ about it. Some people may say, oh, you know, go the shortcut, but I'm not going the shortcut anymore. I'm going to take the path that I have to take to get where I need to be, meaning that I'm not in a rush anymore. Like, I think 27 has taught me that I don't have to be in a rush, and whatever's for me is going to be for me. And as long as you have good people around you, people who love you, who respect you, who want to be there in your life, look, dude, like, I can't wait for nothing. But as I was saying, as long as you have people who want to be in your life and you want them to be a part of your life, that's all that matters. You feel me? Like, forget everything else, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what this life has really taught me, is that no matter where you think you're gonna be there. And honestly, I wouldn't want, like, I feel like I graduated a few years ago, but once I pass my test, that's gonna be my real graduation, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I graduated in 2016. I'm gonna say I graduated in 2019, because I fully completed everything, and that's what is going to be the deal breaker for me, you know? So yeah, I feel like sorry you guys, I don't have any spray. Nope, I don't have any. Hold on. So pretty much what's going to happen to me now is that I'm just going to focus on remaining positive for the remainder of my time of just kind of going through all of this. I feel like I don't know, I feel like kind of just, I'm just gonna like find myself, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I found myself at the age of 27, so I think 28 is gonna be a good year because I'm definitely gonna be able to find myself even more. I feel like things that kind of were just holding me back in 27, I feel like I'm gonna kind of pour out more at 28. I definitely think YouTube and you guys are going to be a part of my life even more. I want to, of course, continue doing my fashion haul videos because I really love doing those and you guys love it too. So, you know, I'm not going to stop a good thing, but I'm also going to just start to open myself up more because this is the most vulnerable I've ever been on YouTube. Like, I'm not used to being this vulnerable. I'm kind of used to just like going MIA and just, you know, like, hey, bye guys. But I find that I think this is therapeutic, and I'm always talking about therapy, but it's good to kind of relate to that. Like I feel like this is just a very good, like, I think this just helps me to kind of just find purpose. So I'm going to continue to find my purpose. I'm going to continue to just be a good example for like young girls, especially my beautiful brown girls. Like I want to be more support for you guys because, you know, somebody supported me and kind of pushed me to be, you know, who I am at this moment. And I want to like really put out good, you know, useful content. I don't think I'm so much worried about the numbers because I'm going to do YouTube regardless, you guys. If I get 100 views to I get 10,000 views, I'm still going to put the same effort into YouTube because I love YouTube and I love to be connected. I'm not on like Instagram as much, but I want to start pursuing Instagram more. I think Instagram kind of makes me nervous. I don't know why, but it just does. But this is more like me. Like I could talk. Like I'm a talker. I'm a talker in real life. I'm a talker on this thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna just like push myself to just like put out more content that's useful, and I want to be there for you guys, and I want you guys to be there for me too. So that is my life update video. If you guys like these type of videos, please like this video, guys. Like. It's really important when you like these videos because then you're able to allow someone else to see this on their timeline, and you allow this video to get popular, and you know, people like to be engaged and stuff. And yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you guys. Deuces.